Hello people of the internet, I am DesertWolf and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're gonna be doing an in-depth tutorial on how the Continental rules work. To do this, I'm gonna go step by step with you guys, starting by the click of this button. So let's get into it. Now first of all, the first page you're gonna be presented to is gonna be the general rules. Now first of all, you want to choose the continent this is based off, because there's not only Europe, guys. There's not only Europe. But for this example, we're choosing Europe. Then you can choose the season update day, the date when competitions in this nation are reset for the new season. It says in this nation, it's not really in this nation, it's actually like in the continent, so like basically when the Champions League gets reset. In this case, you're gonna put it to July 20th, just for this example. Now start with the qualification system. Now this is not too self-explanatory, but what this actually means, the nations bit here, is all the nations that apply to this system. What I mean by this is, in the Champions League, you know that the teams that qualify for the Champions League they have to be part of UEFA to qualify for the UEFA Champions League. Well, this is basically the same thing. You choose the teams that are part of the confederation that does the competition you're doing, if you get what I mean exactly. For this case, we're gonna take every single European country, no exception. Actually, why customize, add condition, nation. If you want like from a continent, this is how you do it. Okay, for this case, we're gonna do Europe. And I'm gonna purposely take every single nation for a future example. Just to check, you can see here this Crimea. Now it's a bit weird for Crimea, but I'm gonna add it in because it's gonna be useful for an example later on. So now you can see there's 55 nations applying to the system. Then there's teams. Right now we don't wanna pay attention to this. We're gonna skip this bit because this will be basically how many teams per nation qualify for the system. But first of all, we want to decide how many teams we're gonna have in total. Like, so you know, it's more important. Well, let's start by adding the cup. No? And if I do add cup, oh, I actually added 2 cups. I'm gonna like I'm gonna remove one, but like if you want to add like, you know, Champions League and Europa League, you'll have to put 2. But for my case, let's say this in this continent, there is only a Champions League. There's no Europa League. So for this case, we're gonna start from this. Now you're gonna have to choose number of teams in this competition. Now this is when you're gonna need. I usually take out a paper for this because you're gonna have to do some math. Because for the stages, you're gonna have to go step by step and make sure that you do not skip any. How do you call it? That you like do not forget about any teams. So like, you know, all the teams will have to be there. Because at the end, stage by stage, you have to arrive to a moment where only 2 teams are in the final. So, yeah. So competition, let's start by this. The competition name, usually, like, this competition name, it will research between all the competitions that have been created. So if you, now, doesn't seem too clear, what I mean is basically in the database, there's competitions. There's this competition section with all the competitions. That's basically it. So if you want to make your own custom Champions League, you can create your competition, call it Champions League or whatever. One thing I like to do instead, if I want to replace the current Champions League, instead of adding a new one, like a second one, which is always quite better, as sometimes teams will not accept to participate to this new one, unless the reputation isn't higher. But for this, I want to replace the Champions League. So, I'm gonna search for it. Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah, European Champions Cup. There we go. So I want to replace this. So that's so in competition I'm gonna put the already existing European Champions Cup. Just to make sure. Club Champions Cup. If you want like check what type of competition it is, you just like I did here. You hold this and scroll to the right. And you can also check if it's extinct, but that's not really useful. What we want is this. So now we've chosen to replace the European Champions Cup to this new nation. Now I never like to make it simple for myself because I hate myself. I always like to make complicated competitions, and this is no exception. But I'm not gonna over exaggerate. Last time I showed that over exaggerated competition style. Also, there's the number of teams in this competition. That number can be from 2 to 512 teams. Now I'm gonna keep it a bit plain simple, 128 teams, not go too far. Now there's stages. Stages what basically are is like group stage, you know, the playoffs, group stage, first knockout round, second knockout round, up to the final. This is how it is, and it's actually like stage by stage, round by round. So like there's not the knockout stage where it's like quarters, semis, and final. No, it's like quarters is one stage, semis is another stage. So you're gonna have to add one stage per round. Now here's gonna automatically put knockout round. Now for me, for the first stage, for example, I don't want that knockout round. I want to be, I don't know, a group stage. I just changed to group stage, that's how it is. You can choose the number of teams starting at the stage, number of teams qualifying at the stage. Like in a real Champions League, not all teams start at the same point. You can see, this can be seeded by division reputation. Now, for example, I only want 64 teams to start. Actually, I'll make this a bit more simple for my math. I want 96 teams to start at this stage. 96 is 64 plus 32, for those who didn't know. So, basically, 96 teams will start. I'll make it such that 32 teams then pass to add up to the other 32 teams and make 64 and not make it too complicated. You see, you know, trying to keep it plain and simple because I'm making this tutorial in front of you guys. Then if you guys want to venture into the more complicated shit, don't contact me. That's your choice. No, I'm joking. Anything, you can leave it in the comments. Okay, then you're gonna have to search for the name of the stage. You're gonna have to choose from one of the existing stage names. If I only click space, here are a few of them. You know, like Group A, Group B, and things like that. Group S, periods, champions, West Zealand for some reason, South Scotland, second promotion. All these are names of the stages. For this, I want, I don't know, something with group, because you know there are group stages. Maybe it's like, you know, phase. Yes, the first phase group stage could be quite a nice name. You know, like, you know, the first phase of group stages. Then 32 will add up to that 32 to make a second phase of group stages. I don't know, something like that. Then you have to do the number of groups. This is math. Like, I'm gonna tell you from that. There's 96 teams starting in this group. For my example, I want 4 teams per group. So to know the amount of groups I want, I'm gonna have to divide 96 by 4. So basically, for those who don't know how to math, you know, we never know. I'm usually a bit over exaggerating, but like, we never really know that people that come up watching this tutorial, and I want to cover it for everyone. So yeah, I'm gonna take my calculator out. I'm gonna divide 96 by 4, 24. So I know if I have 24 groups, I put 24 groups, every group is gonna be composed by 4 teams. Yeah, seems quite easy, no? Yeah. I can put the number of rounds, you know, like home, away, but I can even make it up to 8. Some countries actually do that, which is a fun fact. I think, I forgot the name of the country, but there was a country that made 3 rounds. I think Iceland had like 3, something like that. Not too sure. Don't quote me on that. I'm gonna put only one leg. I don't want this to be too long, and I actually made a mistake. It's 24 groups, not just 20. Okay. Then there's prize money. It's because if you want to then play it yourself in this new system, you want to know what's the cash you get out of it. Because you know, like in the Champions League, for every stage there's a cash prize for a stage. Here's like, if you win a game, how much money do you get? If you draw a game, how much money do you get? And if you lose a game, how much money do you get? So for this, I'm actually gonna make it maybe a bit over exaggerated, maybe not over exaggerated. I don't really know how it actually works in real life. I don't want to venture into it, so I'm not gonna venture into it. But we're gonna keep it to this. I'm not gonna make 50k for whoever if you draw, and like £1 if you lose just because you're shit. I don't know. Then the start and end date. This is quite important. It checks it out. You usually want to check and actually add it because it's the main cause of problem. Yeah. Oh yeah, actually, before I go to this, this is how, like, in case of a draw, how it actually is seeded. So for example, in case of a draw, I know goal difference, then I can go goal difference for matches between teams on the same point and games won. Just an example in case the teams have the same amount of points, and then I don't know, um, just some random shit. Team seeding. Let's go for that. So, like, if they have the same goal difference for matches between the teams on the same point, games won and team seeding, then it's gonna be team seeding that's gonna decide it. Well, because my Champions League starts 20th July, like the season of the European season, I'm gonna make this start 1st of September, and I don't know, approximately 3 matches, shouldn't be too unrealistic to make it end 16th of September. I don't know. The possible match days of which are gonna be sorted around. What this means is like, wait, sorry, match days actually. It's like what day? It's like play on Saturdays, Thursdays, Wednesdays. Usually, for example, for the league, the teams play on Sunday, and so like if I want to do something like that, you put Sunday. I don't really have a preference. I'm gonna keep it random, so a bit randomized. But a list of dates that are always used in the schedule, I'm gonna add 3 dates because 4 games. 4 teams in a group, 3 matches. I don't know. I'm gonna make the first date 1st of September, second date 9th, third date 16th, and then like all the games are gonna be around these dates and these times. Obviously, certain games will be before and certain after. While that now we've created our first phase, we'll go back to stages and add a new one. So we have to keep in mind 32 teams qualified for this stage. Now let's say I want this time a knockout round to actually pass from this 32 teams plus however teams I want to add in this stage. For my case, I want to add the remaining 32 teams. And let's say, I want to make this sort of a playoff. A playoff between these 64 teams for who goes through. Okay. No play. I'll search that. Yeah, there you go. I'll just make it a playoff. Yeah, plain and simple playoff. We'll call it like that. 32 teams starting the stage. There were already 32, so there's 64 teams. Now, number of matches played. This is not like how many legs. This is like how much matches in total. So if you have 64 teams, that will mean 32 matches. Because to one team going head to head, that's 2 teams per match. 2 times 32 makes 64. Bit of math. Yeah, 32 matches. Match rules, extra time penalties, you can make it however you want. For those who don't know, silver goal is whoever's winning by the first half of extra time wins the game. Golden goal, whoever scores in the extra time wins. Away goals is a shitty rule they currently use in the Champions League of if you have got more goals away than them, it doesn't go to extra time, you win. Dot. I don't like that rule, I'm not gonna put it. This actually is if you want games home or away. So I don't like games home or away, I just like one simple game, not too long. And it's like the date, so we had the previous one 6 September, I don't know, let's make it 30th of September. I'm putting it 2015, doesn't really change what date you put it. For the stadium, you can select a specific stadium for the matches. What I usually just prefer to put, a home team stadium, just random. Get a bit of luck. Then appearance money is how much money you get for being in this round. It's usually like the highest amount out of everything, 500,000 for an example. Prize money for loser, I don't know, just a bit random, $5, €5 actually, I forgot the currency is in euros. And for the winner, I don't know, for this case, an extra 100,000. Seems fair. Okay, so now, with our math done right, we have 32 teams remaining. So let's add another stage. with our 32 teams remaining. And this time, I don't know, let's make another group stage. Group stage, I don't know, second, let's call it second phase group stage. Because why not? Second phase group stage. There it is. This vid, oh yeah, for those assuming this video is quite long, yeah, it's done a bit on purpose. I'm trying to go in every single detail for you not to mess this up. Number of teams starting at this stage, 0, because we already got every team started. Number of teams qualifying for next stage, we have 32 teams. Let's say we want 16 teams to qualify for the next stage. You put 16, because there are 32 teams. If you want top 2 to qualify like in the real Champions League, that's how you do. Number of groups, so doing our math, there are 32 teams. Yeah, you're hanging up till here. There are 32 teams. I'm failing at math right now. So they're gonna be 8 groups. Yeah, 8 groups. Math. Thank you. 8 groups. Yeah. 8 groups. Okay, so 8 groups. So 8 groups of 4 teams. Number of rounds. I'll keep it 2, like in the real Champions League. Prize monies. Once again, your choice. I don't know. Let's make it some big cash. I don't know if that's big cash. Just 1 million. No. I'm putting random price of money because that's not like it's not you don't really need a tutorial to know what this is. That's how much money the team gets if they get that. So I don't know. Now for the next round, I wanted to start in October. Let's give a bit of space. Make it start 7th of October. Now there's 2 rounds, so instead of 3 is 6 games. Let's make it end at 31st of October. Why not? Match days. I don't really care about match days and dates. 6 games, so that's 6 dates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let's set them, I don't know, 7th of October, 14th, 19th, 23rd, 26th, and 30th, 31st. You know, just set. These are details that if you want to make it more complicated, it's yours to take care of. Okay, you're taking care of things like that. These are not things that should be that need to be covered in a tutorial, because these are personal preference on like what date to play the games. All you know is that you have to keep coherent with the dates. You know, don't make this after this if you put this in the order before this one, if you get what I mean. So now, doing our little math, we know we have 16 teams left, I think. Yeah, because the teams that qualify for the next stage are 16. There's certain here. Okay, so go to stages, add another state, and make this, I don't know, 16 teams. What could you make? We could make a knockout round, call it round of 16, like in real life. I think there should be a round of 16. Not too sure, don't quote me on that. Round of 16. There is no shit like that. Okay. Well, let's just call it first round. I don't know, is it first round? First round, there it is. Plain and simple. Number of matches, we have 16 teams, so that's 8 matches. 2 teams per match. Seeded by division reputation, why not? Number of games, just one game. Home team stadium, yeah, why not? And the date, let's make this in November. Yeah, why not? 10 of November. And here's prize money. You know, just big cash, medium cash, crap cash. Oh wait, that's appearance money actually. That should be the big cash. Why not? No, 2 billion is too much, isn't it? We don't really care about that. If there's a problem with the game, it's gonna tell us later. So now, 16 teams, 8 matches, 8 teams remaining. Math. Yeah. Well, why not make it original, I say to myself. But at the same time, I realize the complications. And I'm like, yeah, let's make it original. That was weird. Okay. no teams are starting at this stage, so no need to take that. Teams qualifying, we have 8 teams. Let's make it cool and make it only 2 teams qualify, cause why not? If there's any issues right now, you're gonna see later on. It's gonna tell us. I'm gonna show you how. I'm gonna tell you how. You're gonna see. Number of groups. We want 2 teams to qualify. 2 groups. Why not? First team of every group passes. Only 1 game. Prize money. Yours to choose. Oh yeah, if you want to change the currency, it's here. It's yours to choose. I don't know. Just make a completely random small cash. Makes no sense. Okay, then start end date. Remember, this has to be coherent. If it isn't coherent, it will tell you to tell you why, and you'll find out why. December. There we go. So we had 8 teams remaining, so that means 2 groups have 4 teams per group. That's 3 games. Yeah. Let's do dates that are always used. Let's make it 3. If there's an error, it's gonna tell us. What was the first date again? Starts 24th of November. Let's make a middle one like the 1st of December. Qualifications. And 9th of December. Why not? So now, with our math, we know we have 2 teams remaining. Also because we wrote it here. So now there's nothing. Oh yeah, I forgot to actually add the name. Remember, you have to add the name or else, yeah, it won't work. Group stage final. Is there something like that? No. So let's just keep group stage. Why not? Then we go back to stages, add the final stage. This time it's gonna be the final. Oh, you'll have to put the name final. There we go. Knockout round, final. Number of matches 1, because it's the final. You choose this. Replays is what. Oh yeah, for those who don't know what's replays, like when you tie and there's no like extra time penalties thing, it goes to a replay. It's the FA Cup rules. Look it up if you don't know it. I'll watch for the 31st of December and I know specific stadium. Yeah, it's gonna be let's make a neutral ground. Randomly seeded. Make this random money. Why not? Oh yeah, don't be scared of removing the euros. It's gonna put it back. Then you have to go to match rules, substitution rules, a thing like, 3 out of 7 players, things like that. These aren't, things I really covered that. I'm not really gonna cover that much. This, like, it's you choosing how you want it. Then there's like, if you're one of these guys that don't like people having too many strangers, this is the bar where you do it. But I'll clear that. I don't like that. Maximum team size. I don't like doing that as well, but you can do it. Your choice. Then there's like the sequence games banned and things like that. Yellow cards, red cards. These are all things that are made out of personal preference. So yeah. Now we have created our cup. So we should be done. Or are we? We don't know yet. We're gonna use a magical button called test rules. Number of teams should be in division, but the number of groups was 20. Now we got this. Number of teams, 96, should be divisible by number of groups, 20. So we'll go back. I personally haven't understood that much what they mean. And now I find why. Number of groups, 20. I thought I put 24. But now what I actually noticed is number of groups. If you see down below, it tells you, like, maximum, things like that with the group. You see, you can only use up to 20 groups. So we're gonna have to modify that. And let's say we had 24 groups originally. Let's make it 12 groups. So that means 8 teams per group. Yeah. So it's like groups that are twice the size. But this kind of ruins everything. Because this means now there are 8 teams in a group. So we're gonna have to modify a bit everything. Make sure you get your math right and pay attention to everything. Now, this mistake seems random, but at the beginning was random. Then I noticed a bit later. I didn't want to come back. I wanted to show you guys, like if you're going a straight line. So we're gonna have to change the dates. I actually have to check this date to make it Korean. So that 30th of September. I said Korean. Wow, that's racist. Okay, I'll make it 28th. You know, why not? And we're gonna have to add, because it's 8 teams, it's gonna be 7 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're gonna have to add the dates. So no, 1st of September, 9th of September, 16th, 19th, 7th. Why not? You can this doesn't have to be in order. Don't worry, guys. Doesn't mess up anything. 21st and 28th. Now we've done that. Let's check it again if there's any problems. European Champions Cup. Total number of teams under for this competition, 0. Okay. So we've set. So this seems quite fine, as it for now repaired no errors. The error actually repaired is that in this case, we still haven't completed it. Okay. Now let's start on completing it. Here we know we're 55 nations. So well, we'll first add this. Qualified competition. European Champions Cup. This is the competition these teams will qualify for. Be careful. So it has to be this competition. This competition that I'm now going over my mouse will be the competition that these teams will qualify for. That's what qualified competition means. As the seeding, lower is the seeding, the better. Yeah, seeding give teams, because then you know when you make the group, it's gonna be seeding. Now. This is the number. Now we have, if we check cup, we have 128 nation teams. So we want a total of 128 teams. Now if we leave this blank, what will actually, I can click this to make, you know, this, see. If we leave this blank, this means this is gonna be best nation to worst nation. So all 55 nations. What you can do is that, but what you can do if you want, like, for example, the first nation to have more teams than the second, like, you know, if we want the top nations to have more teams than the lower nations, like in real life, what we're gonna then put is for the first nation, for example, the nation was first, to, I don't know, we have 55 nations, so as nation is 20th, as an example, that's 20 teams, I know, they will have 4 teams that qualify. These are all a bit of random examples, but I'm gonna use this actually. Then, I don't know, the 21st team, we said 55 teams, 55 qualify. We're gonna have to remember to put European Champions Cup. I don't know, they're gonna have 3 teams. Now be wary, because now looking at it, you see a total number of teams. That's 80 and 105. That's 185. We said we wanted 128, so that's not good. You know, we can change the seedings. I'm not gonna pay attention to seedings. So maybe let's say, I don't know, make this 3. 165, I don't know, make this 2. 1760, that's 130 teams. It's a bit too much, isn't it? What we could do here is make, because all I'm gonna say for this is you want to reach 128 teams. So remove or add teams based on how much you need in total. This is gonna be like the total amount of teams that will qualify for the line. I'm gonna add the line. I'm actually gonna make this till the 53rd nation and make 54th and 55th, the last one, have 1 team that qualify. Don't ask yourself why, because then 2 and 66 make 68, 68 and 60, 128. That we have got the team sorted. Okay, seeding, your choice, anything. Now let's test the rules. Should be fine, shouldn't it? No. Now you see the screen. This blocked me for so much time. And I don't want this to block you guys. When you see this, what it actually means is one of the nations that you put in this system doesn't have enough teams. Doesn't have enough teams for like to actually have a few teams that participate. This nation, actually know which one it is, but you guys are actually gonna have to search which nation it is. For my case, I already knew it. It was Crimea. I cannot sort it. Great. What am I doing with life? What happened? What am I doing? Fuck. I messed this up. Wait. Okay, perfect. There we go. Crimea. Actually, you don't have to click on it. Go back to date. Yeah, so I already know that it's Crimea, But if you don't know how you do is go to clubs, filter, customize the filter, add condition, nation, and then put the name of the nation. For example, I don't know, I want Italy to see if it has enough teams. Here are all the teams in Italy, like more than the team. Like, I think you get what I mean. Now, but I don't really care about this. I know Italy has enough teams to have the teams participating, but I know Crimea doesn't. Or at least for now, I'm not sure. I'm gonna check. Oh, there are actually nations from Crimea. Oh, I'm actually quite surprised. I didn't expect it. Then, if you actually have clubs in this nation, what it actually means, it goes to competitions. Now let me check this. If you see it has the clubs, check the competitions. I don't know. Let's make it nation, Crimea. Let's see if there are any competitions in Crimea. I don't know why I have caps lock. Yes, there are. I'm quite surprised. And maybe it's not Crimea the problem. Or is it? How many teams? They have the teams, yeah. So it may not be Crimea the problem. Actually, this kind of stops me because... Oh! So actually, yeah. I got the problem. Sorry guys, my error. Crimea did have enough. But wait, let me retest requirement of 2 teams for Comp 1. Liechtenstein. Sorry guys for this mess up. But this is a bit what I mean, like check everything. I thought it was Crimea. I noticed it isn't Crimea. So I know now it's Liechtenstein the one that has the problem. Because if I go database, competitions, customize, nation. So if I mess up a bit this. Sorry if I'm messing up a bit this part. If there's any problems, ask me in the comments, because I'll admit myself, I mixed it up quite bad. Liechtenstein, how do you write again? Liechtenstein, okay. Nation, Liechtenstein. There we go. Yeah, Liechtenstein Cup. Yeah, there you go. You find it. There's only the Liechtenstein Cup, which is an issue. Why is it an issue? Well, because that means there's no team in Liechtenstein. Like no division in Liechtenstein to get teams to qualify for our cup. There we have 2 options now. First option is create a league for Liechtenstein, add teams. Simple option. Other option is simply remove Liechtenstein. So now we have 54 items, but we're gonna have to adjust this accordingly. And a very simple way, I have to adjust this to make it back to 128 teams in another way. This case actually makes it simpler because I can just add back to 2 nations and yeah, 128. And if we test the rules, which have the magical word, the current club Continental rules are valid. This is the magical rules you guys want. Sorry, the magical like words you guys want. Now once you finish it, you save your editor data. I'm gonna call it 00 00. Why not? Test Continental YouTube. Why not? I add these 00s. It makes them come up on top. Makes it simpler for me. I'm actually not that much into YouTube. I'm more like, sorry, not into YouTube. I mean into Football Manager. I'm more into the editor. But now what I'll do now is open Football Manager. You guys will still be seeing the editor screen, so sorry for that. I'm gonna correct it as soon as the Football Manager game launches. In 10 years time, my computer isn't the best, sorry guys. Okay, my FM launched, so I'll now... Why is it finishing to launch? I fucked up my screen. Wait guys, sorry, okay. Let me go onto my broadcasting. Oh, there it is, Football Manager 2016. Now you should see a back screen, should pop up into the FM game screen. I'm gonna click on it. click back to check if it's going. Yep, there we go. You should now see the game. So if this like seems, I'm trying to do this without cutting it, for you guys to actually like see everything. Oh yeah, if you want to add your own database, remember to put custom. That shouldn't be too much of a complicated step. I can never say this enough. So I'll say it once again before I continue. Be wary, okay? Be wary that when you do this, check always the amount of teams is correct. If it isn't, it will tell you. That means you've wrongly calculated the amount of teams, and maybe you pass from a stage with 96, and the second one, there's 32, but you're acting like if there's 64. You have to be careful. Be wary of that, because that's not a problem. No, I cannot demonstrate the problem. That's just you doing a mistake. I don't know. I know it doesn't seem too clear, but it's like that. Okay, for this, I'll choose Ireland. The reason why I'll choose Ireland because I can actually start of 2016 season, so make a small database doesn't really matter. Also, any problems, let me know down in the comments. I try to do it more in depth. I cannot go really too much more in depth. I could try and solve singular problems, but I covered literally every point you can modify in this, apart from the other cups section, which honestly I find useless, because if you want to put like other cups, you just add them to the normal cups section to make a Europa League. Actually, yeah, talking about Europa League, I'm actually once we test this, I'm gonna come back to my editor, because I'll show you a last thing for those that want to do a Europa League and don't want to mess up. So now, user profile, I don't know, just random team. There we go. Start playing. When I have the message loading, okay, just we're gonna save it. YouTube test. There you go. Everything is loaded. I misspelled YouTube. Fuck that. This tutorial has been going on for quite a bit. I hope you guys like find everything you need in this. If you guys actually don't want this long tutorial, go check out my other tutorial. Give it to that. Okay, let's actually search for it. Champions Cup. Oops, be careful not to misspell. European Champions Cup. I don't know if it actually already started our thing. Yeah, you see? Here are our rules. I'm gonna have a stages. There we go. Neutral venue. This case was Wembley. Okay. See? Now I said 2015. So like when we actually do this, it all goes. Yeah, you can see the rules are a bit weird. Yeah, just because I wasn't really paying too much attention of it, but you know, I don't really know how to explain it honestly. It all depends on how you do it. Do it fine, do it well. I don't know. I didn't really put seedings because what makes it interesting is, for example, here we have the one and only Real Madrid and Barcelona starting earlier than other teams, which is actually what I love when good teams start earlier than others. Gives chances for certain teams to impress. You know, here we have the playoff where the other teams are added. You know, playoff, second phase group stage. Like now, I'm just showing that everything is working. First round. Oh yeah, if you actually want to like check if your thing is working, probably one of the best solutions is choosing Ireland, as you can like start from a season ahead, so from 2016 until 2015. So it's always more useful. And then with this, it's kind of surprising. With the All English final, with Man City beating 1-0. Football Manager always been quite prejudiced about English teams, saying they're better. Okay, I'm actually gonna go back to the editor because there's actually one last step I actually want to show you guys. So we're back to the editor. For those who actually want like a UEFA like Europa League. Okay, I'm not gonna. To make it is the exact same thing. All you're gonna have to pay attention to. Now for this I'm gonna put the name. I don't know. Just call it Yeah, I think it should be called Aero League. No? I don't know how it's called. God. European Champions Cup. Sorry guys if I'm, taking a bit. Aero Cup, there it is. Yeah, if you want to create your Aero Cup, what you actually do to get teams to qualify for it, it's you add and qualified competition instead of European Champions League, you add the one you wanted to. As simple as that. It's not really that much hard. It's just, instead of putting qualified competition European Champions League, you put the secondary one. Doesn't change anything, so yeah. I don't really like having it, so I'm gonna go back to cups and delete it. But this is basically it. I really cannot. There's nothing I can cover more. I showed you every single step I could show you, from general what this meant to cups, European, and things like that. Stages. I went stage by stage. If there's still things you guys haven't understood, I'm gonna try and explain in the comments. But I cannot really say more. This is the max I can show you guys from my side. So this has been your boy DesertWolf tells you 5 here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the next video.